He has been a GMHC board member and assistant professor of medicine, and he is now New York City's assistant commissioner in charge of HIV/AIDS prevention and control. Please welcome Dr. Dmitri Daskalakis.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for the intro.
Oh, you're welcome.
So in the category of Assistant Commissioner Realness, that's me, Dmitri Daskalakis. No, this is not the latex ball, this is the Gala. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to really support GMHC. I really want to just take 1 second to contemplate what we've been talking about for the last few months, which is ending the epidemic of HIV/AIDS in New York City and New York State. And I want to go back. I know it's an amazing, yeah, it's good. I want to go back to the idea of the day that GMHC was born, the day that at that apartment, everyone came together and said, we're going to make a difference. It is my belief that it is not 3 or 4 months worth of work that has led to the ability for us to say that we are going to be able to end the AIDS epidemic. The end of the AIDS epidemic began on that night. We are all standing in the footprints of giants, and I am so honored to be in a room of such giants and able to say that I was able to serve on the board of GMHC before I started as the assistant commissioner in New York City. And I've learned my lessons from being in the field, from being the sweaty gay health warrior coming up to you asking for HIV testing, to learning what it's like to work both in a hospital setting and a community-based organization. And what I've learned is that the trick is they all need to work together. We are all aligned with the goal of ending the epidemic. We have the same mission. And to achieve that mission, what we have to do is what happened on that fateful night that gave birth to this amazing organization and really supports us in what is happening in New York City. I am proud that GMHC is one of our very important partners in New York City. And I'm even more proud that I have the opportunity to introduce Kelsey Louie, who is the chief, a hand for Kelsey. So I don't know if you know this, but Kelsey and I are really twins. I know when you see him, we look a little different, but we're about the same age in terms of our new jobs. So he's been at GMHC about as long as I've been in my assistant commissioner position. And the truth is, I've seen him more in Albany than I have in New York because we've been running back and forth so much. I just need you to know that Kelsey is really the right man at the right time in the right place. So he's had 13 years of experience, really focused on HIV/AIDS, but also looking at the other very important drivers of the epidemic, like addiction, homelessness, LGBTQ issues. He really comes with the experience and the knowledge to steer GMHC into a place of renewal, which is our theme for the night. So without further ado, I want to remind you that Kelsey is a native New Yorker, a graduate of Columbia University where he got his MBA and his Master's of Social Work from NYU. Amazing. He's a teacher. He teaches at NYU Silver School of Social Work. He's a patron of the arts, and probably his most important defining moment, other than being the CEO of GMHC, he's an avid runner. So I'm going to ask him to come up and really inspire us for the rest of the night here. So Kelsey, please join me up here. Thank you, sir. It's my twin. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us tonight as we establish the Larry Kramer Activism Award to recognize the legacy of a man who has never cowered in the long and hard fight against HIV and AIDS. It is my privilege to bring GMHC's family together for this historic reunion. We now enter a new chapter for this amazing organization started in his living room. Without Larry Kramer, there would be no GMHC. I don't think the word reserved has ever been used to describe Larry. It might sound funny to say that, but think about what that means historically for a second. When GMHC was launched, the majority of queer people were still living one way or another in the closet. Being reserved or holding back who you really are was the only reality that most gays and lesbians grew up with. In fact, it was the only reality many felt they would ever know. Larry has never shied away from voicing his disagreement with anyone. And of course, it's no secret to anyone here tonight that Larry and GMHC have not always agreed about everything. But the fact that all of us are open and here together at this moment is because of Larry's fearless attitude. Larry is a sharp reminder to us that if we are not actively questioning and scrutinizing our beliefs and our actions, then we are not solving the problem. We are part of it. One thing Larry taught us is that we are stronger when we fight together. I want to take a moment to acknowledge another co-founder of GMHC, Dr. Larry Mass. We all stand on the shoulders of these two great pioneers. It is both humbling and inspiring to stand here before them. Needless to say, I would not be here tonight giving this speech if it were not for Mickey Rolfe. Mickey's contributions as a chair of GMHC's board of directors allowed GMHC to live up to its critical mission. And he was a driving force behind my selection as CEO, which I think was a pretty good move. Currently, GMHC is in a period of transition. In a number of ways, we are following Larry's example by honestly and rigorously examining how we can live up to our mission. Since becoming CEO last June, I've asked myself, what makes GMHC stand out? The answer is simple. Our comprehensive programs are driving groundbreaking results that save lives every single day. Every year, we serve over 9,000 people impacted by HIV and AIDS, more people than ever in our history. At GMHC's testing center, we test nearly 3,000 people for HIV, and 90% of the people who test positive at our testing center become virally suppressed, more than double the citywide average. We serve 90,000 hot meals to those who are struggling to get by, and we don't just feed people, we teach them about nutrition and how to prepare healthy and affordable meals. We also put 300 people back to work through our workforce development program. And in 2015, we will expand to provide mental health and substance use services. This will further empower our clients to get and stay healthy. On my first day as CEO, I asked the senior management team to begin a comprehensive review to ensure that every dollar, every resource available to GMHC is used as efficiently as possible. Part of that review has meant directly addressing challenges with our building, and I'm proud to say that we will be combining 2 floors into one without impacting a single program. In doing so, we will not only maximize our use of the building, but we will also save 25% in rent each year, freeing up even more resources to fight HIV and AIDS. We continue our strong tradition of advocating at all levels of government, from joining Governor Andrew Cuomo's task force to end the epidemic in our state by 2020, to engaging the White House on the need to continue our efforts to find a cure. We are at a promising crossroads in the fight against HIV and AIDS. But as we embark on this ambitious yet achievable plan to defeat this disease, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. It is not enough to talk about just lowering new HIV infection rates. We must voice what we all know, but are often too afraid to say. We must find a cure. I am troubled by how little activism there is challenging the systems to drive innovation rather than simply fund more programs. The systems in place are not incentivizing innovation, and we are not demanding better treatments. Today's treatments are great advances. They are, however, yesterday's advances. Will people with HIV always have to live with kidney and bone density monitoring? Will people with HIV always live in fear of disfiguring fat deposits? Will people with HIV always have to fear premature aging and a neurological fog? Complacency has set in. Advocates have sided with insurers, policymakers, and industry to agree that this is good enough. When, for instance, did HIV organizations start agreeing that treatment decisions should be made by insurers and expert panels, not by patients and their doctors? When did preferred drug lists, high copays, and specialty tiers become acceptable? Our aspirations must go well beyond a menu of expanded programs. The aspiration must go beyond mathematical models that calculate when we'll bend the curve on new transmissions. Our collective aspiration should be nothing short of a cure. Science says it is increasingly within our reach. So let's follow Larry's fearless example. Let's not be caught tinkering with our models. Let's demand a cure and a society that values people with HIV and AIDS enough to make a cure a reality. With the arc of justice bending, let us not fall victim to our own reservations. Let us demand action. Only if we aspire to more can we demand more. Only if we demand more will we get more. We must find a cure.